I thought I would just share with you a little bit of my thoughts on my response to a few questions that some viewers have asked. And in life, we always like to use labels, and labels helps categorize our life or who we are. And in the past, in my YouTube channel, I would label myself. I would say, Tessie, off-grid this or off-grid that. And a lot of people said, well, I'm not really off-grid, which is true. I'm not really off-grid. But in the last month, I've had a hard time trying to figure out, well, what am I? What is my label? What is my tagline that people would understand how I live? I was always Homestead Tessie. I've been Homestead Tessie for a long time. But I have chickens, and I am homesteading, but it's more than just homesteading. I'm not quite off-grid, but it's more than being off-grid. So what am I? And maybe I'm no special label, but I started thinking about how I wanted to share it today, this topic. And so the tagline I'm going to use is my thoughts and feelings on my ultimate frugal life, because that is something nobody can deny. Tessie's frugal, and I'm a little bit ultimate. Now, I could use the word extreme, but the word extreme has been misused in so much with the media and everywhere else that I don't like using the word extreme, because that sounds like something that I don't want to be labeled as. So we're going to say Tessie's ultimate frugal life. So what did I have learned? Well, I did a little bit of a video on this topic in the wintertime, and in the wintertime and the summertime can be a totally different experience. So people love hearing about my life and things that I think about and the things that I do and the struggles that I have overcome and some that I haven't overcome. And I'm going to share with you first the positive sides of it, and then I'll share with you the negative sides. So, ultimate frugal living, and what does that mean? So what it means to me is basically what you see every day on my videos, my lifestyle. Ultimate frugal living is, the benefits of it is you appreciate every little thing you have in life. Nothing comes for granted. You have a day that the sun is out. You're very thankful for that. You have a day that it's raining out, and you're extremely thankful for that. Because, and I will share with you why, gifts that people give you, you're very, very grateful for them. Now, other people who don't have an ultimate frugal life are still grateful for these things. But you're playing on a totally different level than what the everyday person in the world is. Because when you are ultimate frugal living, you can't just go out and just buy items oftentimes. And for me, I don't ever have anything new. And I don't really desire anything new, but of course I'm human, and every once in a while I will, covet this or desire to have that. But when you're an ultimate frugal person, you don't ever consider buying something new. And if you do buy it new, it's got to be really discounted or very, very frugal. What I learned in this lifestyle was it came in me in waves. I started out this lifestyle many, many, many years ago. In fact, I started it over 15 years ago with, of course, you all know, with a situation that happened to me. It helped jumpstart it. And it progressed, and it progressed slowly. And by the end of this summer, it's going to progress even more. But it was a slow process. I started doing this, and then I started doing that. I stopped buying this. I stopped buying that. And it became a challenge to me. And that is a word I want you to take from this video, is a challenge. Everybody has a challenge in life. Some people's challenge is to see how much money they can make. Some people's challenge is to see how far they can go in the corporate ladder of life. Some people's challenges are physical. Some people's challenges are spiritual. Some people's challenges are, there's challenges for everything in life. You can challenge to see how much weight you can lose, or you can challenge to see how far you can run. My challenge is to see how much money I can save, or how much money I don't need in life. My ultimate challenge would be to have a zero money life. Now, I know that will never happen because that's not the world we live in. But to me, its frugalness is a challenge, and I like to push myself. That being said, it doesn't mean that there's some days where I would rather not. Let's face it, we can be on a diet as long as we want, but every once in a while we're going to crave that chocolate cake or whatever is your craving. And that's the same with the ultimate frugal life. Every once in a while you do wish that, or you do crave a certain way, but I've become very disciplined in not caving into the cravings of the spending. Lessons learned. We are entering the beginning of summer, and living an ultimate frugal life is, for us, is no air condition. We do not have an air conditioner. Now, we do have one in our bedroom that we use very rarely, but we do not have an air conditioner in the home, and it's become very challenging. And the older I get, the more challenging it has become, because some days it's 100 degrees inside the house, like yesterday when I had my grandchildren. So we went outside and we played in some water. But that's one thing I have learned that it's become very challenging to me. Number two is buckets of water can be very heavy. 1 5-gallon bucket is 40 pounds. And you times that about 10 times a day, even more at times, that gets extremely challenging. But I realized is, in the mornings, I'm so much stronger than I am at the end of the day. So, in turn, I learned to work around my limits. In the morning, I'm wide awake, I have the energy, and by evening, I'm tired. So I've learned, and part of my life is off-grid. I mean, part of it is. So with my water situation, that is off-grid. That's even more off-grid than some off-grid people because I don't have solar. So I don't have the pumps like people do and things like that. So what I do is I work around that. So what I do is, in the morning is when I do my major using of water, because that's when I need to dispose of it. So I have learned in living the ultimate frugal life that you can work around so many challenges that you have. And another thing with heat is, I've learned to work around the heat. In the morning is when I get a lot of my work done, and in the afternoons I take it easy. In the past years, I would just continue to push myself. And I realized that that's physically hard on your body, and I don't want to make that mistake of being so physically hard on my body that I give out at a much younger age than what I would have needed to. I know a lot of the older women have commented me and messaged me about different aspects of things that I do that they think that maybe I should look out for when I get older. And I'm taking them in consideration because I do realize the older I get, the more limits that I will have. So the ultimate frugal life is the word I'm going to use a lot of times when I talk about certain things that I do, because that way totally everyone can understand where I'm coming from. Because when you use labels and you use words like off-grid or alternate lifestyle and things like that, it just leaves so much for people to not understand. And that's a question people often have is, why do I do this? And how long am I going to do this? Well, I will do this forever. This is my life. And why I do it is simply because it's a challenge to me and this is what I enjoy. So these are just some of my thoughts on frugal living. And I understand that there's always a healthy and unhealthy way of looking at life and looking at anything you do. And for me, this works for now, you know, and I would like to do it forever. And this is, frugalness is in me. That's just, I was born that way. And I really do enjoy the ultimate frugal lifestyle. And I really enjoy the off-grid lifestyle, but that's just not feasible for where I live. But for those of you who live like I do and live in a community where being totally off-grid is not feasible, you can do all these things that I do. And so these are some of the lessons I've learned this summer. And I also learned so far that garden work is extremely hard, and it's becoming harder, and remaining physically active. I think one of the lessons I learned this winter was I didn't have chickens, so I wasn't outside much. So in this winter, I pretty much sat around and I had a really nice warm home. which is really nice, but in past years I've had my home colder, so it kept me moving more. And this year I've had it really warm, which you tend to just kind of just lounge around, which was a real bad thing for me, because in the spring my body was not ready for the workload that was going to happen in my life. And so you're going to watch in some of my videos this winter, I'm going to try to find things that I can do that are very physically active, because I have to be physically active all year round. And I have to be physically active in the winter, or in the summer I just won't be able to do it. I lost another 5 pounds. I'm finally starting to get my body back to what it was last summer, but it's going to take me all summer to get that way. So gaining 30 pounds over the winter time was a horrible thing for me, because it just took that much more energy of me this spring. Because if you look back on my back videos, you will see that I was thinner, and I'm very adamant about trying to get that weight off again, because my lifestyle, I cannot be overweight. I just cannot be overweight with the things that I do. It just takes too much of my body. And so I really want to try to lose some of that weight, because I don't want to have to go through what I went through this spring. So I want to thank you so much for watching this short video, and I just wanted to share with you a little bit about some of the lessons that I've learned this summer, and the lessons I learned last winter, and some of the things that I'm working on as far as my physicalness, my physical body, to be able to handle and withstand this lifestyle. Because you got to stay active, and I need to be a little more active. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Hi my friends, if you liked this last video, can you do me a favor? Can you share it, or like it, or make sure you're subscribed? By sharing and liking my video, it helps get my video out into the world, and YouTube recognizes that video, and I will get more views. Thanks again so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.